There's something about nostalgia. It always just hits that little bit different. Over the course of Hypixel SKyblock, many different melee weapons have took the throne for the best one. And at the moment, you'd probably have to give it to the Dark Claymore. Considering all factors, it probably is just about the best. But that has definitely not always been the case. If we're talking about raw damaging stats, at one point, the best weapon on the game in terms of this was not even a sword, but it was simply an emerald blade. But how could this be? What does an emerald blade actually do? A powerful blade made from pure emeralds, this blade becomes stronger as you carry more coins in your purse, capped at 2 billion coins. Receive Curse of Greed. When striking, cancelling any effect modifying your coins, loss on death. What this basically means is, regardless of what you've got active, if you die when you've got those coins on you, you actually lose them all. And while sure, we can already see how good this weapon is going to be. It's going to give us 658 damage with a 2 billion purse, which by today's standards in terms of base damage is actually still pretty good. Now, I'd say there's most definitely two different configurations we could try this weapon out in, one of them being 1 for all and the other one probably being solely to 5. So, I guess for science, we're probably going to have to buy them both. The 1 for all one we can simply just buy ourselves and put it on, it'll be way cheaper. But for this one, honestly, regardless, I'm not going to get the coins back in terms of how much the item's worth. It's not really a bad deal, so 50 mil down the drain that work, I'm pretty sure never going to see ever again. Okay, it's time to sort our 1 for all emerald blade out. We'll try to make it as similar to this one as possible. Yeah, I'd say that's probably as similar as it's going to get. Recommed, fuming, withered. This is fabled, we'll put withered on it. Or maybe fabled. Huh. Yeah, we'll go for withered. Yeah, what am I actually doing? It'll be interesting, let's see. I can literally dual wield emerald blades. I'm sure you're jealous, I'm sure you are. But just before I make you want to buy an emerald blade, if you are planning on purchasing anything from the Hypixel store, make sure to use code NITROS, it gets yourself 5% off. You should subscribe to the channel. If you're watching the videos and you haven't subscribed, please make sure to do so. You should join the Discord server, it's linked in the description of this video. We offer slayers and dungeon carries, so if you need carries or want to carry and make some coins, make sure to join. Okay, so we're going to be using this set of armor. Not the greatest, it's not really going to matter too much. We've got Onyx Gemstones in all of them because we need more crit damage, because we've got Withered, that just gives strength. Yeah, our crit damage and strength is good enough. No, we are using majority Crimson, so we're going to have the Dominus Swipe as well, which is going to be lovely to see. Of course, probably not how this weapon was initially intended to be used, but nevertheless, let's give it a go. So first we'll start off with our 1 for all Emerald Blade. Let's see the damage. 1.6, honestly, that's actually quite good. 1.6 million damage. Can't really complain with that. I wonder how that fares to like a modern day sort of weapon, like a Dark Claymore. Might have to buy one to test it. With our other Emerald Blade, with Soul Eater on, I assume the damage is going to be lower here because, well, we're killing hub zombies, but 1.2 million, still pretty good. You know, the 1 for all is at the moment dealing around about 550k more damage, which is pretty interesting. Got that lovely swipe as well. You know what? Yeah, we need a Claymore. You know what? This'll do. I'm not looking for anything crazy. Soul Eater 5 will do. The Master Start's not really going to make a difference. Now let's test with our Claymore. Okay, let's see how much we do with our Claymore. We do way more of the Emerald Blade. That is crazy. Wait, has it got the right reforge on? Yeah, it has. Emerald Blade kind of carrying at the moment, not going to lie. But I guess once we go on to some higher health mobs, we may see a bit of a difference. I don't know, we'll see. No, I just realised I didn't have coins in my bank and I'm using a G-Drag. The actual damage is 1.2 million, which is very, very similar to the Soul Eater Emerald Blade, actually. Here, let's compare its stats. 580 damage. 688 damage. 201 strength compared to 360, which is a big difference. And then 103 crit damage as opposed to 70 crit damage. So the base damage on the Emerald Blade is higher. However, the Dark Claymore makes up for it in strength and crit damage. Now, these do have Jaspers in. Of course, we can't put gemstones in the Emerald Blade. But surprisingly, we actually have a relatively fair matchup. Of course, if you die, it's not great with the Emerald Blade. Let's move on to some other mobs. Let's start off with the 1 for all Emerald Blade. Okay, 1.6 million. 1.6 million. Very, very similar to what we were doing to the hub zombies, which it will be because it's 1 for all. Okay, now the Soul Eater Emerald Blade. 1.6 million, which is, well, very, very similar to the 1 for all. Now onto the Dark Claymore. Did not see that. 1.55. So very, very, very similar, but slightly worse than the Soul Eater Emerald Blade. Interesting. I think we need to move on to some, maybe even higher health mobs. So I want to see what kind of swipe damage we're doing. Okay. The swipe, was that 4.5 million? I believe it was 4.5 million. Let's try and see that again. Very difficult to tell. But I couldn't tell before. Our swipe was 4.5 million, which is really quite good. Really hard to tell in the magma cubes. I was using the Soul Eater Emerald Blade. It's a little bit chaotic here, not gonna lie. It was a 5.5 million swipe. So of course with Soul Eater, it's gonna scale with the enemy. So we did 1.8 million damage then and a 5.5 million swipe, which is crazy to think we're using an Emerald Blade. Now of course if I use the Soul Eater Dark Claymore, the damage was practically the same. Now, I've made sure that both of these Emerald Blades both have Ender Slayer 6 on. We're going to do a little bit of test in the end. And down into the hideout. So our 1 for all damage is surely going to be very, very similar to what it was in the hub, and it is at around about 1.7 million per hit. On the first hit, that is. If we can kind of demonstrate. Yeah, there we go. 1.76. Pretty consistent. And then our damage with the Soul Eater Emerald Blade is going to be around about 2 million. Which is really not too bad. What would be cool is if we could maybe find a higher health. Here we go. And we can see how much damage we do here. Well, okay, that was interesting. Of course, we're now going to do more damage on the next hit because of Soul Eater, but that's just Soul Eater. That's not the Emerald Blade. Still, I'm going to lie, the Emerald Blade's pretty good. It has its drawbacks, which we'll go into in a little bit, but yeah, it's not really that bad. Now for the Dark Claymore, it's going to be very, very similar to the Emerald Blade. Try that again. 1.9. It's just slightly worse. It is slightly worse, but it's very similar. Yeah, that's all I'd say. I mean, it's very similar. Oh my god. This... It's not even funny. Can you see that? You died and you lost 1,514,567 coins. I was helping somebody with an Ender Slayer boss, not thinking that there's a potential that I could die, considering it was their boss. And I was using my Emerald Blade, and we all know that I read out its exact description at the start of the video. And, oh god. So how is it that the same person manages to salvage a Terminator? I don't even... man. Oh my god. To be honest, right? To be honest, I don't know what to say. But what I'm trying to say, even though I don't know what to say, is... This is the drawback with the Emerald Blade. You have to have 2 billion coins in your purse, and if you die, you lose 1 billion coins. I actually thought halfway through that Ender Slayer boss, maybe I shouldn't help him because I'm going to lose like loads of coins if I actually do go ahead and die. And I was like, I'm not going to die, it's his boss. I don't even know why I was doing it. Oh my god. Moving on. I don't know how to move on from that, to be honest. So somehow I've gone, the other day I had a 5.5 billion person, now I have 2.8 billion. Granted, I have invested in a few things, and yikes. As always, everybody seems really sympathetic. I got a skull emoji and a bruh. Anyway, okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new auction for this great Emerald Blade. If you really want it. I'm going to switch it to an auction, and if you feel so generous, just donate a few coins. You don't have to, you know, there's no pressure. We'll put it up for 24 hours, okay? Put it for 24 hours, and if you want to donate, then sure. If not, it's to a good cause. Don't worry, I'm definitely not going to test the Emerald Blade out again, so the coins that you donate won't be lost to an unfortunate Emerald Blade error. Yeah. So what I was actually going to get to is the Emerald Blade is actually pretty good. As long as you're careful and don't die. Well, actually, it can be pretty costly because the Emerald Blade itself was only 50 mil. You have to have 2 billion coins in your purse, and if you're using a G-Drag, obviously you need 1 billion in your bank. So you essentially need a surplus of 3 billion coins that you can just have laying around. And you've got to be really careful you don't die, because you could quite easily lose a billion coins like we've seen. But you shouldn't lose the coins as long as you're not stupid and start doing random things that you don't need to do. The Emerald Blade is actually quite good though. It outdamages the Dark Claymore. Well, it outdamages an equivalent Dark Claymore. Sure, if you put better enchants on either weapon, then, you know, you could have slightly different results. Anyway, I'm going to cry, but this is going to be the end of today's video. If you enjoyed, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and yes, I'm stupid. I'll see you in the next one.